Welcome, everybody. My name is Tracy Turnberg, and you're at Leaders Chat Live. Super excited to have you here with us today. I hope you're having a happy, safe Memorial Day weekend, and thank you to all those people that served in the military and have given us what we have here in America to be so great. So thank you. Today's guest is fantastic. But before we get to him, want to remind you, if you haven't entered chat into the comments on any of the previous videos, you want to go ahead and enter that in, and you'll be added to our messengers bot, so you get a handy reminder message right before we go live every single time. And then also, you can follow us on Facebook because you're watching us, but also over on Instagram if that's more of your thing to get information. And the biggest, newest thing is youtube.com/Leaders Chat Live. This is where everything's archived going to be at. Super friendly, super easy to navigate. You find the episode that you're truly after. So make sure you go over there, subscribe, and click that little bell. So when we put up a new video, you want to be able to go over there and make that happen. So with that, like I said, I'm super excited to be here this afternoon. I know it's a Saturday afternoon. I appreciate your time that you're carving out to join us today. Today's guest is a good friend of mine, and he is from Memphis, Tennessee, and he is a dynamic leader. I have a lot of respect for this guy because I tell you what, he has persevered. His commitment to personal development and mindset is just incredible, and he's the one that he's one of these guys out of all the leaders that I know. He's one that I actually called, and I talked to him about the Leaders Chat Live concept many months ago, and kind of went through that entire thing with him. So here's the deal: if you like Leaders Chat Live, I did not take any of his advice. It's all me. If you don't like it, I took all of his advice, and you can just blame this next guest for all the shortcomings that is Leaders Chat Live. With that, I'd love to bring on today's guest, Mr. Dapo Odusanya from Memphis, Tennessee. Dapo, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Tracy. How you doing?
Fantastic. Hey, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is a wonderful Saturday afternoon. There's nothing else to do. There's no sports to watch right now.
Hey, we got to do it some kind of way, huh?
Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And, one thing that we want to do, make sure everybody understands, is who you are and share a little bit of your story. Where are you from? I'm with a name like Dapo Odusanya. You're probably from, Memphis, right? Pretty clear. That's a good Memphis name, isn't it? So tell us where you grew up. Tell us your story. And tell us, when did you first get exposed to network marketing, and share that journey with us from the beginning to where you are now with everyone here online today. Dapo?
Tracy, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Dapo?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for this opportunity. This is a great platform. I'm happy that you made it happen. Believe it or not, I was born in the U.S. of A. I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And when I was 7 years old, my grandmom and granddad wanted to see their grandkids. So we went back home being Nigeria. It was supposed to be a 2-week vacation. We ended up being there for 10 years. So after that, I came back to the States, went to college, got my master's in physical therapy, began practicing. And after a while, I injured my back. And had a change of career, like, okay, I don't know if I can keep on doing this. So I changed careers, went totally different, ended up becoming a licensed customs broker. Actually one of the two brokers for the company by the name of AutoZone. And so if you see AutoZone out there, I'm one of the brokers that import for that great company. And ironically, my mom got sick. She began taking so many pills. And, I hope I don't get too emotional talking about my mom, but I met a guy and he told me about this wonderful product, began trying the product, and my mom in 4 months, went from taking 7 pills to 0. And I was blown away. And then I called the guy back. I said, hey, guy, how can I get some more of this stuff? And then before I knew it, he began talking to me about network marketing. I said, that's a very, very good concept. I never heard about it. I never knew what it was. It was always my desire to work in corporate America. But when you told me that, you can get paid multiple ways by just helping people, I said to myself, let me take a look at this. And before I knew it, I got involved. It was a long process because of my mindset. Growing up, I was told to go to school, get a good education, as you can tell. Being licensed in two different industries, a lot of studying took place. But I never did realize that, you can help people and get paid several multiple ways. So before I knew it, I was doing well, and here I am in a nutshell.
Well, when you first heard about network marketing, what position were you at in your life that you were like, were you frustrated with the day-to-day grind? Were you really looking, or is it something that you just kind of you just stumbled across and just kind of ran into?
Well, honestly, believe it or not, I don't like working. I did not like working. And, for me at that time, I just wanted to just go to work, just work for somebody. That was my mindset, because my parents drilled on us. Those of you who don't know, Nigerian parents, they are strict about education. So if you have friends, family who are Nigerians, I bet you they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees. It is just the Nigerian mindset. So we believe in going to school. So for me, I was not even looking for network marketing, not at all. I mean, so it just, I can say maybe it fell on my lap, you
Yeah.
know, and when it did, it just made sense. But again, remember, for a long time, I was drilled. I was made to believe that if you don't go to school, you will not make no money. You better get one, two. I mean, as a matter of fact, in college, I didn't party. There was no dates. There was nothing. It was school, home, school, home. So when I heard about network marketing, it didn't really make sense to me. It really didn't. But as I began to stay plugged in, I said, this might be it. This might be something to have on the side, and let's see how it goes. Because do remember, again, I have Nigerian parents, and so I still believed it, but didn't believe it. I was still working my job and still doing network marketing on the side. But as it began to grow, I said, wait a minute here. This might be something very good. So I can say it was by fate. It fell in my lap.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I was in college. I was going to go on to chiropractic college. I wanted to be a doctor of chiropractic. And I was like you. I was going to get that degree, and I was going to, just assimilate into life in that traditional sense. And that's just the way they were brought up. And Robert Kiyosaki talks about it in Rich Dad Poor Dad. That he says the American dream is, maybe it's the cash flow quadrant, but he says the American dream is this: is you graduate high school, you go to college, you meet somebody, and so then you, instead of having two apartments, you get married to have one apartment. You save money, then you say let's put a down payment on a house. Then let's go and let's put $10,000 on furniture that we can't afford to fill the house, and now we're living the American dream, and we're in debt for the rest of our lives. That's kind of the formula. That's how we're brought up in school. That's like education, work, get a job, retire. And so for me, man, I tell you what, when that light bulb went off, it was like, oh man, I mean, this network marketing thing is pretty cool. Now, when you started, did you get a lot of flack and a lot of negative comments from family and friends?
If you only knew. As a matter of fact, first, I'm trying to think here. And this is a true story. My first 2 years was terrible. My parents, my family, my friends, they laughed at me. Like, you doing what?
Yeah.
Wait. You're doing what again? So I'm doing network marketing. I have my own business here. They laugh. I was given several nicknames. And for a while, again, because of my mindset, I said, I'm not going to do this. Forget about it. I got discouraged. I
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
Because growing up, that's all I knew. Go to school. I was a bookworm. There was no play whatsoever. I was strictly in the books, no partying, no going. So now I'm trying to play catch up with the partying. But that's a whole story. That's a whole other story. But it was hard starting up because I didn't know what I was doing. And in the back of my mind, it was still in me to still get that degree, still go to work for somebody. So
Right.
for a long time, it was a battle, marketing, corporate America, so it was hard. It was hard.
You know, in this industry, we so often we get people that it's so easy to rip on something that you don't know and you don't understand, and we just see it in society, whether it's politics or anything. It's just like you don't understand it. It's so easy to put something down, and I think network marketing for me when I started was still, it wasn't known. The internet didn't exist for me when I started, and so it's like you really couldn't research anything. So you just relied on stories of other people to share with. And sometimes it's like, well, that guy doesn't have a great reputation. He's probably a used car salesman, a sleazy, greaseback kind of dude or whatever. And you're like, what exactly, why does it work? I mean, we all network every day, right? This is the one of the things. If you follow Dapo on social media, you're constantly talking about Memphis, aren't you?
All the time. Love Memphis. This is my city. It's not a big city compared to New York or Wisconsin, or Dallas, but it is a small city that's growing. And believe it or not, people give a lot of bad rap. It's always negative stuff. There's always crime, but I tell people there's crime everywhere. And Memphis has changed and grown within the last 10 years. We now have the Memphis Grizzlies, go Grizz, and we're about to make the playoffs, but
about
Miss Rona took over, and we now have the whole NBA season probably going to be suspended, not canceled. But I live in Memphis, and I've been there for over 20 years now. Great city, it's not too fast, not too slow. There's a lot to do, lots of opportunities. We love nature down here, and we love to eat. For those of you who know me out there, I love food. I love to cook. And then another true story, my dad would tell us, especially the boys, you don't want no lady to get mad at you and starve you. So I'm going to teach you how to cook. And my dad, I lost my dad a few weeks ago, rest in peace. He would teach his sons how to cook, only at night, not during the day, not in the morning. And one day I said, hey, Dad, why do you have us cook at nighttime? He said, son, remember this. During the day it's hot, but at night it's cool and it's quiet and you can focus. And we learned. So I love to cook. And in Memphis, we have lots of food. It's down south, we love food, and I love to eat as well. So when it comes to Memphis, we just a match, good food, music, and a good environment.
Well, I tell you, Memphis it's part of the heartland. It's a phenomenal city. The people are fantastic. The basketball team is average at best. And sorry, man, got to go there.
I knew it was coming, I knew it was coming. We talk about basketball all the time, but it's okay. I'm going to be quiet till next season and see what happens.
You'll get me eventually. Eventually, they'll be good. No, they're exciting right now. They got and that's the thing. You get excited about stuff, right? And you're right now. You're excited because you got John Morant there. I mean, he's a phenomenon. That dude has got some ability to go play. And but when you get into network marketing and you get into the industry, it takes some time, doesn't it? But when you get excited, because excitement to me is just belief, yes. Right? You're not excited about the Memphis Grizzlies because they're bad. You're excited about because you believe in them, in the potential that they represent, and in the industry, and that's what fans are, right? And so we're always looking for the potential. In this industry, you have to have that belief, don't you?
You do. And that is one thing that I try to teach everybody who I meet. We live in a world of negativity. We live in a world of darkness. And that is why, if you look at everybody now, they are drawn to negativity. And one thing about me, especially on my post on Facebook, I always say something positive.
Yeah.
All the time, no matter what. Like, believe it or not, even though my dad passed away, and I lost my aunt early this week, life keeps on going. We cannot dwell on it. If you're living, there's something negative that's going to happen to you. And I've learned over the course of the years of reading books, listening to my several mentors, what you focus on expands.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that. What you focus on expands. So like for me personally, if someone was to come to me with some kind of negative information, I am so quick to change the subject. I am so quick because, believe it or not, as you begin to hear it and hear it, it begins to believe. It begins to seep into your belief system. And the more you hear it, begin to believe it. And it's going deeper and deeper and deeper. And subconsciously, you become negative. And if you look at your life right now, you wonder why your life is negative. Now, don't get me wrong. There's going to be rain. There's going to be sunshine. But I'd rather talk about the sunshine than talk about the rain.
Yeah.
So personally, when I realized that little small concept to focus on the positive, you're going to be amazed how your life will change. Every morning when I get up, I'm always thankful. When I had bills back then, I'm always thankful. When I couldn't pay it, I was always thankful. When I lost my dad, I said, you know what? I'm going to remember the good things that he has taught us.
Yeah.
It wasn't unexpected, but at the end of the day, you have to really believe in yourself. And belief comes from so many ways, from your words, from what you're feeding yourself. And I will say this, including myself growing up, I've been told no so many times. I've been ridiculed. I've been abused mentally, physically. And if we're not careful as human beings, we still believe that event that took place a long time ago. But I always have to tell myself that happened years ago. That is not you right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I look up to mentors. And I know you've been a basketball fan. You just watched Last Dance by the documentary on Michael Jordan.
Yes.
This guy went through a lot. He was told no going into the college basketball team. Like we've all been told no.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop him. He believed in himself. He did whatever he had to do. And in my case, knowing my mental state, because my mental state was terrible, Tracy. When I tell you that I always taught negative all the time, you won't believe it. So I had to force myself to, do whatever case I can to be drenched into positivity. To the point where my friends that I had back then that were negative, if they were positive, I cut them off.
Yeah.
But belief takes time, but you have to have someone who you can look up to. And I look up to my parents, my mentors. I will call them, I will listen to them, and I'm always reading books as well. Because believe it or not, every person that's out there that's not successful, I like the story of Oprah, for example. Many people don't know that Oprah was raped when she was young.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard that story for the first time, I was like, oh my God, she was raped? Oprah? And see her now. So every successful story went through something.
Yeah.
So I've always told myself, learn from people's autobiographies, read it, learn from it, and whatever it takes. Everybody's life is different. Just do your best to build up that belief system. And right now, for me, I believe.
Yeah.
I just believe. So it took a while, and it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you just stick to the plan, fall in love with the process.
Yes.
Don't worry about the results. Don't worry about the results. In my case, 2-3 years of joining the industry, I was terrible. No customer, no nothing. But I didn't give up because I heard of other people's success. And I just kept staying plugged in. I'm staying plugged in. And then my belief system began to change. And before I knew it, boom, 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 and here we are. So belief in oneself is so important.
Yeah, my first experience in network marketing, I was hot and cold. I would build, and then I'd get into that conversation with somebody who was like, oh man, yeah, maybe what I'm doing is crazy, and so then I kind of cool down, and then I go, I go to an event, and I'd get all jacked up, and I'd come out, and and then I'd have that conversation, and I tell you, regardless of who you are, you're going to have those dream stealers come along, and all they want to do is they just want to take you down. Yep. And I was listening to an old audio tape of my mentor, my sponsor, Dale Maloney, and he was sharing about crabs. And I totally forgot. He used to share the story all the time. And he goes, when you catch a crab and you throw it in the bucket, you got to make sure it stays in the bucket because it's going to try to climb out. But as soon as you catch the second crab, you don't have to put the lid on the bucket anymore, because when the crab starts to go up, it'll grab the crab, it'll pull it back down.
Exactly.
And so you don't have to worry about the crabs crawling out of the bucket if there's two in there. because they're going to constantly be pulling each other down, and that's a lot of what network marketing can sometimes be for people that don't have the right mindset, is because you, first of all, you're prospecting people and you're talking to people that don't understand.
Exactly.
They don't even want to have an opportunity to have a conversation to learn about it, and they pull you down. And then, quite frankly, sometimes you got team members
Hmm.
that will pull you down. And so you have got to find a way to create that mindset, to understand. Like, listen, I know there's gonna be negative people around me. I'm like you. I mean, you create too much negativity in my life. I'm probably just gonna cut you out of my life, and in a way that just makes my life easier, because my days are too short to be filled with negativity.
Exactly. It's funny you said that. Me being who I am, I'm always plugged into some kind of source of positivity. Always.
Mm.
Books, YouTube. I mean, the internet has changed things now. You have
Yep.
newest. You can just Google whatever, and boom, there it is. And this guy who I follow, he asked a question. He said, "Who are you listening to?" And he was quiet for like 20 seconds. So I'm gonna ask that question again. Who are you listening to? And he said, many of us will listen to our parents. He said, you guys, I love my parents. He said that. But guess what? When it comes to certain situations, I'm not listening to them out of respect, because they don't know what's going on. And he said that in the audio, he was saying that you've got to make sure you know what you want in life first and foremost, because many of us believe in that we don't know what we want. Now when you know what you want, that's the moment. You got to know what you want. Now, when you know what you want, you got to find a mentor who is living or who has what you want.
Yep.
But he now go back again. He said, "Who are you listening to?"
Yeah.
And I said to myself, for a long time, it could be your boyfriend, your girlfriend, it could be your pastor, whoever. But
Yeah.
whoever you're listening to, make sure that they're living the life you want to live.
Yeah.
If they are, reach out to them, be bold, take that jump. One of my great mentors, he would say, feel the fear and do it anyway. Go out there, meet your man, say, hey guys, listen, up to you. I like what you're doing. Can you please mentor me? So right now, I'm very careful who I'm listening to, because again, there's so much negative people out here. Just for example, also, my good friends, back then when I started, they were laughing at me. And, back then, we go to the club and, dance and talk to girls, blah, blah. But when I began to change my mindset, I said, you know what, these guys, this is taking too much time. Let's do this together. They all said no. Tracy, now, years later, I now have a beautiful home. Guess where they are? They're still living in apartments.
Yeah.
I've been all over the world. Guess where they are? Haven't left Memphis.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful who we're listening to, because again, there's so much negativity out here. I mean, I cannot even stress that enough. And now that I think about it, this guy again, I follow so many people. He said we all need to go on what he called a mental fast.
A mental fast.
We all do. Let's try, yes, a mental fast. He said, don't watch TV for a whole year. I said, whoa. I said, I love my ESPN.
Yeah.
I'm a sports guy.
Yeah.
He said, but start with a week, start with a month, and keep on going. And guess what I did, Tracy? For 2 years. Again, my mind was terrible. Lots of negativity. For 2 years, I didn't watch TV. So what was I doing during this time? I was reading books, maybe cleaning the house, whatever. But I didn't realize that I was wasting so much time watching TV.
Yeah.
And now I don't have cable now, but I don't really have to watch it. But I did it, and I was amazed how I was wasting so much time making someone else rich, giving them higher ratings.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but that forever.
Yeah. For me, I don't watch. I try not to watch the news, because there's nothing positive ever on the news other than sports news. Because I love that, but I tell you, just if you just cut news out of your life, you're just gonna smile more. You're just gonna
Oh,
be happier. And you're just gonna have a better overall day. and it's going to reflect in work and in relationships and everything else. So Dapo, you said 3 or 4 times you've read a lot. And when you're dealing with mindset, do you have like a book that you really teach what you work with your team on, or you talk to your team about?
Wow. Ooh, I have a lot of books, and I need to do a better job sharing the books that I've read. But one book that really changed my life forever, and I was looking for it. It is The Four Agreements. I don't know if you've read that book or not. It's a simple read. I think it cost me like $12. The Four Agreements. And one of the agreements is don't take nothing personal. In this industry, you've got to be very, very careful. You're gonna hear all kind of things.
Yeah.
So I really encourage people. And the one that I had, I've given it out away. I've bought it maybe like 12, 13 times, but I'm always giving it away.
Yeah.
The one that really changed my life is The Four Agreements. And one of the agreement is don't take nothing personal. And I remember him saying in that book, you've got to remember that people are only projecting onto you their belief system. So, for example, if you're wearing a white T-shirt and this person who you're talking to has a frame, a glass frame, but the lenses are green, well, you're wearing a white T-shirt. No matter what you say, because of their lens, they're gonna see you as green.
Right. Yeah.
Take anything personal.
Yeah.
So if you talk and it's negative or it's not your belief, don't take it personal. And be very impeccable with your words. And that's another agreement in that book. The Four Agreements is what I love. I've read so many other books, and I also love the book, The Alchemist. Very nice storyline.
Yep.
Again, it's all about belief, watching your words. But those two books, especially the other books, I'll submit anybody. I would suggest first and foremost read the Four Agreements.
Okay. And so now, one thing that you always refer to on your social media accounts, and just in our conversation, you always say, "Mind your words." How does that affect Dapo's mindset? How does that affect your business? How does that affect your life when you have the concept of mind your words? Can you expand on that for us?
Absolutely. So, I know everybody has different religions. Mine is Christianity. I believe everything is all good and gravy. You know, and not to sound too religious here, that great book says, and God spoke, let there be light, and there was light. God made us in his own image. So we all walking God's. Let there be light, and there was light. Many of us say, I'm tired. It is hard. Guess what? When you keep on saying that, the universe will say, your wish is my command.
Yeah.
I'm very careful with my words. I do my best to say things that are positive at all times. And then again, everything I'm learning here, what I'm sharing is what I've learned. This guy said to me one time ago, if you're going to be a copycat, you might as well copy the best cat in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said to me one time, he said, watch what you're saying just for a day. And if you can keep account of what you're saying, you're going to be amazed how much negativity is coming out of your mouth based on your previous programming. I said, man, get out of here. And I began watching what I said. And to my surprise, they were all negative. Most of it were, I'm tired. God, it's too early. I got to go to work. This folks, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially very, very, very emotional. I try to be very careful. And knowing that God created me in his own image, and God said, let there be light, and there was light, I now began to watch what I say. I believe in affirmations too. I have a long list of affirmations that I say all the time. I'm the best of the best. I'm wanted by the masses. I have a credit score for this. I say it all the time. Faith coming by hearing and by hearing of the word. So I'm always saying things that are positive to create my word. And then, I always remember this. If God said this and it happened, and I was created in his own image, So why am I not saying the same thing? Why am I not creating my own world? If you look around you right now, if it's good or bad, I hate to say this, you have created that with your
Yeah.
words.
Yep.
You have all those bills. So I'm very, very careful and I'm very, very mindful. And I guess always learning. So I always do my best to read books, learn from my mentors. There's some of them out there that I would love to mention right now. And I listen to what they say. I listen to how they say it, with their posture, with their tone. But every morning when I get up, I look myself in the mirror and I say those words. I'm in traffic, waiting for something, I'm saying those words. Affirmations all the time, all the time. And it gets to a point, Tracy, when someone says something negative to me now, and you probably already seen this before, you feel some kind of way like, did he just say that?
Yeah.
Like me personally, I'm like you. I cannot watch the news. I tried one time watching the news, it gave me a headache.
Yeah.
Like I cannot take this no more.
Yeah.
So my words. And also, while I'm thinking about this, when I have partners who are going slow, I don't say they're going slow. Like if I say, oh, he won't do nothing, or she won't do nothing, I have just cursed in some kind of way that prospect.
Right.
Or he's gonna have. So I'm very careful. And when I began to watch what I'm saying, things began to change for the better. I mean, I can go so many ways with this, but your words are so, so powerful. Remember, he said, let there be light, and there was light. God created us in his own image. So words are very powerful, and I don't take it lightly. Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's very emotional.
Yeah. And that's so true, though. I mean, how often do you, I mean, you just think about your daily life. You're out there watching us today, and you probably go into today's conversations that you had. You say, how are you doing? Well, I'm tired, or I'm busy, or, it's so easy to get into that, hey, what's going on? I'm just really busy, this COVID thing. And you kind of go off on the negative. For me, the COVID thing it hasn't been that big of a change in my life. It's definitely restricted shopping and dining out or whatever and that kind of thing. But it has created this energy within network marketing, because when the economy goes down, our industry goes up.
Absolutely.
And if you have a nutrition product, that can drive in a crisis like we're in with COVID right now too. So you have this ability to be to really be extra busy with an energy in your business, right?
Absolutely.
But COVID sucks, all right? But I tell you what, the positive of COVID has been life has slowed down. Enjoying things, just enjoying being still, or not having to be on the go all the time. And just, and I talk to people, you're talking to people, but they're like, man, I tell you, my kids, I didn't realize how my kids were so busy. Man, they were in everything. And when we come out of this COVID thing, we're cutting it down to, and they say they're going to get rid of, 2 or 3 different activities, whether it be dance or sports or, whatever. Because like these kids never had a chance to be kids anymore. And, so the COVID thing is an awful thing. I mean, economically and death rates and everything else. But it's also been a blessing in a way, because I tell you what, it's really reset a lot of people into going, you know what, I can do things differently, and working from home is not a bad option. And so I think more people are looking. I know more people. The number one trend on Google is work from home, and I tell you what, it is absolutely amazing the number of conversations that I've had, just because people are like, well, is it affecting your business? And I'm like, yeah, but it's all positive. It's like, it's all positive. It's like kind of crazy. It's like I'm working harder now than I did, 3 months ago, and which is a good thing, right? So, but yeah. Anyway, so when you're dealing, when I talk to you and we see each other, several times a year at events and things like that. One of the things that I've always admired about you is, I think the first time I met you, you were at an event as a guest. You were in a distributor, but someone invited you to tag along. And then you got to the point where you started to get those personal invites, and you got that success. And so the one word that I think it fits you so well is perseverance. and in your ability to commit and persevere through those times. How long were you in network marketing before you deemed yourself successful?
That's a very good question, Tracy. Let me think right quick. Wow. I would say, honestly, 7 years.
7 years.
No success.
Now, were you treating it like a business, or were you treating it like a hobby those 7 years?
Both.
Both.
Because at the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. And let me be very transparent here. Again, going back to what I said earlier, be very careful who you're listening to. Be very careful who you're following. When I got involved, my so-called then sponsor wasn't a great leader. They weren't there for me. I was quote unquote unused. I was used. I had the passion for it, but I had no guidance. I was all over the place.
Right.
Like for example, I was going to the gym, but I wasn't using those. I wasn't using those equipments the right way because I didn't have a trainer. So for those 7 years, I was all over the place. And there was this particular guy, or should I say, group of people who were just doing so well. And I was willing, I was afraid, I was nervous to change and go and approach this group. I said, hey guys, I need you guys' help. Wherever I go, you're always on stage. You're very successful. What can I do to become part of your organization? And when they were like, yeah, you gotta do this, do that, I said, you know what? Please, I'm ready. So my first 7 years, I was in the wrong environment. I listened to the wrong people. I wasn't being coachable. My ego, I'm gonna say it one more time, my ego will not let me humble myself and approach these people.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that time was passing by, they were getting all the money, all the trips, all the recognition. I said, you know what, Dapo, you're wasting your time. Keep it real with yourself. And I went to them, changed my environment, changed my mentorship, people who I was listening to, and before I knew it, they were pushing me. And that's one thing too. Your mentor or your coach will push you, but they'll push you out of love.
Yeah.
And my mentor, he was on my tail. You know, we used to have what I call the locker room conversation. You know, outside he's all smiles and stuff, but behind closed door, he was in my butt. But and that changed me forever. And now he looks at me, he's proud of me, and that's what it's all about. So I was willing to humble myself, change my environment, be coachable, and I was always plugged in. This is a process. Again, one of my mentors, she would tell me, fall in love with the process. So for those 7 years, I was just all over the place. But I just knew that, listen, this is gonna work. You know, I'm seeing all these stories of success, and I said, my time is coming. I just believe. Was it easy? It was not. Was it hard? Yes, it was. But having the right mentorship, changing the environment, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, by saying, hey, I need your help. Please help me. And the real leaders will open up and say, you know what, come on, I got you. Let's do this together. But many of us, we just close our mouths and say nothing. And I was that for a period of time. But it never was enough. I was sick and sick and tired of making nothing. I said, you know what, come on, help me out. And I'm glad I did. And the last 5 years has been beautiful.
It's been a ride, huh?
It's and when you're having so much success, you don't even think about your pain because you're now living the life you want to live. And I'm so thankful because even for my mentors, I won't be where I'm at today.
So I mean, here's a really great way to look at what you're talking about. Where would you be if you quit 3 years, which the average person is not even going to last that long, right? And we'll get to that in a second here. But where would you be if you would have quit 3 years ago, or 3 years into your journey? Where would you be today?
I'll still be in an apartment. I want to have a beautiful house. I won't be all over the world. I've earned beautiful trips, but it's an opportunity. And my bank account will be very, very low. And I will be more negative than I was before.
So has it been worth it to persevere through 7 years of well, I don't want to say you weren't successful. I mean, but you weren't to the level that you wanted to be, obviously. Has it been worth going through that pain and suffering to get there?
Absolutely. My style is I like to keep things very simple and attractive. Again, that's another quote from one of my mentors. Keep things simple and attractive. And I look at it as this. When you're about to give birth to something new, something's going to have to change.
Yeah.
For the mothers out there, you become pregnant, got to deal with that baby for 7 months or 9 months? 9 months, excuse me. So where did 7 months come from? Wait a minute. Anyway.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, please do that. 9 months. That is a lot for a mother to persevere.
Yeah.
9 months. And then when it's time for labor, she got to push.
She don't got a choice, though.
Exactly. That's more perseverance.
Yeah.
And then after the birth, she got to breastfeed the baby. She got to watch the baby. That is perseverance. But after a while, the baby gets bigger. Goes to school. The mom doing what moms do. And then can you just imagine the mother of LeBron James right now? She's not working no more. I mean, LeBron James is taking care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So I was that for myself. Knowing people's stories and how they've gone through their own path. I said, Dapo, don't give up. I know it's hard, but just stay consistent. Stay committed. Your time will come. Everybody's life is different.
Yeah.
One thing I found is I do my best not to compare myself with nobody.
100%.
Life is different.
Yeah.
It may take you 1 year. It took me 7. It might take you just 2 years or 2 months. Don't compare yourself with nobody. You just stay committed. Stay plugged in. Have a mentor. And whatever they tell you, just do it.
Yeah.
And I did it. Again, when it comes to your environment, it's so important. So people, watch who you listen to. I mean, I want to say that over and over and over again. So I just knew my time would come, and it has now arrived. I'm very excited. Like this morning, for example, I had a Zoom call with my team in Nigeria. That went over for 2 hours, excuse me. And then, after the call, we have someone in London that wants to, get started. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
But if I had given up back then, all this won't be happening. So stay committed. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah. My mentor lived by 6 words, says, don't ever learn how to quit. And that was his thing. Don't ever learn how to quit. And, and he, someday, if you don't know who he is, if you're out there watching, I'll share more about Dale and his story. Dale passed away almost 4 years ago now in 2016, August 19th, and at 81 years old. And he had polio when he was 17, and he was never supposed to walk again. And man, he walked every day the rest of his life once he got out of the hospital. And he just every day was overcoming challenges. And he was one of the most positive people. But one of the things I loved about Dale, but it drove me nuts at the same time, he always saw the good and the potential in people. And he goes, that Dapo, he's going to be it. Do you remember when you met Dale the first time? I think we were in Hawaii.
I was going to say that. I'm happy you asked that.
Yeah, and Dale goes, he's going to be something. And which happens to be what, 7 years ago, right? But so it's like you look at people, and there's another saying too, is when you look around people, this works financially, and it also works, with mindset and whether positive or negative. Look at the 5 people that you spend the most time with, their financial situations, and you can average those 5 people, and that's probably financially where you're at. Yes. People that are making like income hang out with people like income. Business owners like to hang out with business owners. Positive mindset people hang out with positive mindset people, because we just don't get along we don't get along. If you're positive and you're hanging with a negative person, I understand we all get negative. We all have down days and moments, right? But I mean, if you're constantly nagging about something over, nobody wants to hang out with you. So you go hang out with the negative people. And so if that's you right now, if you're watching this and you're hanging out with negative people, I'm telling you, you got to cleanse that. You don't have to come out of your life, but you got to have a conversation with them saying, listen, Dapo, stop the negative talk or I'm done. I'm not going to continue down this path of this negative conversation all the time because it brings me down to have that conversation. And so you have to be able to do that. And financially, you want to make more money, you know what you need to do? Go hang out with people that make more money.
Yep. And they're always willing to help you.
You know, I mean, do that. Go hang out with people that make more money. Why do you hang out with your mentor? Probably because they make more money than you, right? And they have something that they know that they can share and teach you, and it's going to help you get where you're at. So, you know, play the game. Figure it out. You know, I'm not saying forget your brother because he doesn't make money. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you want to build your business, you need to find people in that can help you achieve that and that you can get information from, you can work with. Dapo, as we wrap up here, buddy, what the takeaway, if you could share and really, really pound home a moment with everyone that's watching here today, when you're talking about mindset and mind your words, what's that one thing that you want them to know more than anything?
Stay plugged into a positive source. Be it books, be having a mentor, but stay plugged in. Let me just say it like this. For a lamp to turn on, it has to be plugged to a source. For a lamp to turn on, it has to be plugged into a source.
Yeah. Amen.
So stay plugged in no matter what. And you're going to have to like you're going to have drenched yourself in positivity. Because if you have, again, remember, growing up, your environment, look around you right now. What is around you, you have created based on your mindset, your current mindset, and your words.
Yeah.
Look for a mentor, look for a coach, stay plugged in to positivity.
That's awesome stuff. So thank you for sharing that. Now, we always wrap up Leadership Live with 5 stupid questions or random questions. Sometimes they're stupid. I make them up, so they're just sometimes they're stupid. All right, so we're gonna do that, and all right. So who's got a better music scene, Memphis or Nashville?
Honestly, Memphis.
Memphis. All right. What is Dapo's favorite movie?
American Gangster.
American? Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Memphis barbecue or Kahlua pork in Hawaii?
Memphis barbecue all day.
Dude, did you understand the question?
I did. Not why Memphis barbecue.
All right, well, there's one in the world, I guess. Where's the favorite place that you have ever traveled to?
Tokyo, Japan.
Tokyo, Japan.
Yes.
What has been the best experience that you've ever had while traveling?
While traveling, like while in the air traveling?
Yeah, and when you were out in the world, when you were visiting someplace, what's the best experience you've ever had?
But honestly, and this is going to surprise you, this answer right here. When we were on our way to Tokyo, Japan, this is a true story. The guy beside me was an Asian guy, and he ordered a champagne with this beer, the Hasai beer. And I was looking at him, and he said, "You don't know this, right, Tia? You don't know this? This is a very good beer. You mix it together with the champagne, and you're gonna be good." I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, let me get that champagne and that beer." Now, I don't drink beer, but because of what he said, I drank it. And believe it or not, that was a very amazing experience to talk to an Asian guy who was willing to share with me having champagne mixed with beer. And and we had a great conversation going to Japan.
There you go. All right. Dapo, I want to thank you so much for taking time on your holiday weekend to share with us. If you're out there, please mash the thumbs up and the heart button. Show your appreciation to Dapo. Thank you. And I tell you what, I'd love to have you back on to talk more strategy, more business in the future as well. So thank you, and hang on, we'll be right back with you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us on Leaders Chat Live today. Dapo was amazing, dropping tons of knowledge about mindset. Take his words to heart. Follow his advice, because I tell you what, he is successful because of those actions that he took, and making sure that he stays positive, he stays plugged in when reading positive books and mentor talk and all of that. So make sure you do that. Now, don't forget, if you just joined us, type chat in the message in the comments, and you'll be added to our messenger bot and get updates. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And once again, the YouTube channel is going to be where it's all archived at, and you can share that much easier than going through the Facebook page to scroll through. So with that, I want to thank Dapo one last time. Thank you so much. I want to thank all of you for joining us on Leaders Chat Live, sharing, being part of the comments, doing all that. I thank you for that. And we will see you on the next chat very soon. Have a great weekend.